Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're safe and well. In this video, I'm going to be making another step forward in my bench rest shooting adventure. Using some of the things that I've learnt so far, I'm going to be doing some DIY adjustments to my setup. So let's get on with it and roll those titles, shall we? So here's my current setup then. This is what I was using basically when I went to the boot camp without the Citron scope. I had the Arcend scope on, so I put the Citron scope on here, which is the purpose-made scope for bench rest. I've got the little spirit level there, the same as I had on the Arcend. You notice that the 0 dB silencer's blue. This is the same silencer. It had actually been sprayed, so I put some paint remover on to get all the spray off. I think it looks better blue, to be honest. Matches the blue cylinder. Anyway, this is the setup then. The problem that we had really is with this stand. Pretty basic front stand here. With the normal U-shaped cushion on, so the rifle sort of rolls around a little bit, and I found it tricky, to keep the rifle perfectly upright and get the spirit level centered for every shot. Also, there's no windage adjustment on here, so as I was moving from side, I could adjust with the wheel here to raise my elevation to the different rows on the target, but to actually move from target to target, I was having to sort of squeeze the back bag and slide that around, and I think things would be a lot easier, a lot more secure and stable if this just stayed where it was. And like on most of the proper front rests, I had a windage adjustment, so I've got to have a look and see what I can do to this to make it adjustable from left to right. So apart from that then, the only other thing to do is you'll notice here, look, I did upgrade the legs on this table, the wooden legs. One thing that I did notice at the boot camp was, the stability of the proper tables with a nice thick heavy top and with proper steel legs. So let's have a quick look at the legs at the moment. So you can see the structure's right. I've got the crossbars to hold the legs, but they're just still a bit too wobbly. So what I think I'm gonna do is get some steel and weld up a proper leg frame. I'm going to use 2" by 1" box section for the legs, and then 1" square tubing for the cross pieces. So be fairly simple, and probably then weld some flat 3mm plate on the top to give me something to screw into. This is an 18mm ply top, and I'll probably get another sheet of 18mm ply, cut out an identical top and put that on to add a little bit of extra weight to the top as well. So that's the upgrade plans then, and let's take a closer look at the front rest and what we can do to sort that out. So here's the front rest then. Let's have a look at it. It's an Apollo adjustable steel shooting rest, currently available from Vector Air. It says on the website that it's 2.5 kilos, but I measured it and it's actually 3.7 kilos. So it's got a nice bit of weight to it. Came with this U-shaped cushion, which is not ideal for bench rest because the stock tends to sort of like roll around. So so what I've done first with the cushion is I bought this Caldwell universal front bag, and I noticed, move this to the side a bit, and I noticed that a lot of these front bags, the wider front bags, they've used the seatbelt material on them because it's quite slippy. So I'll show you what I've done for this front bag. As you can see, the front bag's a lot wider, so it's going to take you know, a wider fore end on the stock, and I've taken a bit of this slippery seatbelt material and just sewn it up on the edges there, so that that's in there so that the forestock can slip on there. So one of the things that we're going to need to be doing, which I'll get to, is I need a front block for the rifle. But for the moment, let's go back to the stand. Now you notice it's got these adjustable legs with points, so that you can level the stand, but there's no spirit level on it. So what I did, what I've been using up to now, is I just got a little bit of aluminium and a double-sided tape, and I tape this spirit level to it. So basically it slides in under there, and then I can get my level. So what I need to do is, one of the things that I need to build into this rest is a proper level. So so what we're looking at then is, as I mentioned, you know, this is nice. This system works quite nice and smooth for elevation, for raising the front of the rifle up and down, but there's no movement side to side. So I had a look online, and I found this thing from AliExpress, and I'll put the link in the description in case you're interested. And obviously, look, if you, it's like a set screw system, and if you turn this knob, it moves the plate at the top from side to side. So I needed to find some way to incorporate this into the rest. So so I came up and did my fag top design, made a few little measurements. I'll show you that, and I decided, if I take this pad off for now, because we won't be using that again, what I needed basically, I'm sort of right-handed, so this adjustment needs to be to the left. So what I need is some way of connecting this to the top of the rest, and then some way of connecting the bag to the top of that. Okay, and what I came up with was a pad here that bolts. I mean, there's convenient bolt holes on the bottom of this, and threaded holes on the top, which is quite handy. So I needed a pad on here that would attach to this and would allow me to attach the that to the base. One thing as well is there's this screw head here, so I need to take account of that as well. And then I needed to create something to attach to this movable part, in order to attach the bag to. So it seemed to me like a perfect project for mucking around with a 3D printer. So the first thing that I built then, that I designed this pad here. You can see it's got the hole to allow for the bolt head, and it's got 4 holes that line up to the holes in the bottom of this plate here. And I've put this extended bit on the front, and got myself this spirit level. So what I'll do is I'll stick that on there with double-sided tape. That will go on there, and that will sit on that pad. But in order to fit the pad, I've got to drill some holes through. So I don't know if you can see, I marked where I need to drill the holes. I need to drill 4 holes, and then bolts will go straight through the bolts at the bottom here, through the pad, come out underneath here, and then, you know, that will be the ideal way then for me to attach that. So that's the first thing. And then the next thing that I had to make was the bag, something to attach the bag to. So I got back on the oh, let me just show you. I'll just show you a couple of quick shots. I use this program called Tinkercad online, which is a free access program for doing the design for this, and then just printed it out on just a basic 3D printer basically, and I'll put those, you'll see those on the screen. This is the program that I use to design all the 3D pieces then. It's called Tinkercad and it works totally in the cloud. And you can see basically the plate was made by just joining shapes together. So and you can create holes, square holes and round holes. So you can see I've got the blue rectangle, the red rectangle and an orange circle to create the piece, and then I can just select all of those and group them, and it turns it into one piece, and then send that to the 3D printer and it will print it out. So again, I used the same process to design this piece, which the bag will sit nicely inside, and then there's 2 screws there that will fit in the threaded holes on there, so that will look like that, and then that will move backwards and forwards. And then obviously, because this is not ideal here, I printed out a like a thumb wheel that's going to go on there, so we've got an adjustment, and I may well print a bigger wheel to fit over this part in a 3D print that will slot over the top of this wheel, that will come out and just give me a little bit more sensitive a movement on that. So what I need to do now is to go over to the workshop, take the unscrew the top off of the rest, the metal bit, this part here, and screw these holes in, so I can start constructing. And when I've done that, I'll come back and put everything together, and we'll see if it works. I've drilled the 4 holes then to attach the X platform, the windage platform bit, and here it is all constructed. See, we've got the spirit level to get the level adjustments, and then if I move it round, see we've got the adjustment handle, and we've now got our windage. So the next thing then is we need to make a block for the front of the rifle, and that is not as straightforward, because obviously this has got to be a flat surface. So let me grab the rifle and I'll explain to you what the problem is. So I've got the rifle then. Now, according to the rules, you can have a block on the forestock that is a maximum of, I think it's 75 millimeters, which is 3 inches wide, something like that. I think it's 75 millimeters. Now, there are blocks on the market that you can buy that are all ready to fit into the UIT rail. The problem with this rifle is if I hold it up and show you and try and hold the barrel parallel to the table, you see the forestock's actually got an angle on it. So if I was to buy just an ordinary straight block, it's gonna, in order to keep the barrel level, it's gonna sit on this this bag at the front here at an angle, which is not ideal. I'd like to have it flat. So anyway, as I assume, you know, most of these stocks are made by machines, I thought, well, this angle's got to be a pretty sort of on the money angle. You know, it's not going to be sort of like a weird, you know, a weird number. So what I did is I laid the rifle on a sheet of paper, and I drew lines along the barrel and the bottom of the stock to work out the angle. Actually turned out it was exactly 5 degrees, this angle. So then what I was able to do was to go into my 3D design program and design and print out a block with the 5 degree angle. So what I can do then is, I just think, slide this on, slide a block on the rifle, and you can see the bottom of the block, when it's tightened up, the bottom of the block will be parallel to the barrel. So that's all going to sit nice and comfortable in the block there at the right angle. So with all that said and done then, need to tighten this up on the rifle, but with all that said and done, we're ready to try it out in the field and see if it actually works. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, finally we get to try this outside. It's taken me quite a while to get to this point from the previous sections on the video, because I was away for a week and the weather's just been dreadful, and just finding the time actually. So as you can see, got the new front mount. The first thing that I didn't think about, obviously if you're raising up the height of the front mount, then you're going to have to raise up the rear mount. So this bag at the moment, you can see I've got it sat on a couple of paperback books, so I'll have to work out what size of rest I need, and probably, you know, make up a plywood base for the bag to go in, so that it sits inside there and it doesn't move around as much, because obviously once we've got the full adjustment in the front, we don't need this rear bag to move. So that can be fixed. So that's one thing that I've got to sort out, so that's on the list. Now the other thing with this is you can see this all moves. It's not, it all conforms to the rules because it's not stuck. It will lift out and it all slides, so you're not in fixed rests. The rifle is still free to move. The leveling, the little spirit level works great on there. The only thing that I noticed straight away when I came out and put this in is the fact that we've put quite a lot of weight on top of this pretty basic rest, really, that was not designed to take that extra weight on top. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's a lot of play in that screw in the elevation knob, and this moves about quite a lot, which I hadn't counted on, but we live and learn. So I really don't think on that basis that that this base is going to be up to the job. So I need something a little bit more firm, and what I'm going to do is I've looked around online, and I've ordered a little mini scissor jack thing. Now I've seen people that have made their own front rests before using the scissor jack. Now I understand why. So what I'm going to do is I'll wait for the scissor jack to arrive, and then I'll be replacing this cast iron raising fitment with the scissor jack. I'll need to put in some form of adjustment, so I might use these nuts and bolts actually on that. Might be able to weld some nuts or drill some holes in it to allow me to make those adjustments, and we'll see how we go with that. Another thing as well, if I take this off here, put this down for a second. I did using this sandbag, but I understand that did make some inquiries, and the rules have changed, and now you can use foam. And I've got a box of offcuts of black polyurethane, reasonable sort of medium to high density foam that's used for filling the inside of flight cases. So I think what I might do is I might modify this head and make a rest from that foam, so that this front block on the rifle here fits more neatly in there, so there's no sideways movement, and it's still, the rifle will still lift and go forward. So there's a couple of things to do then. So oh, and also I haven't had a chance to buy the steel to do the legs, but I've looked at what I need, and I've decided that I'm going to make the legs out of 2-inch square steel tubing, so it's nice and heavy, and then I will have a box section T-bar frame at the top that the tabletop will sit on, and there'll be screw holes through that, so that allows me somewhere to attach. And then there'll be a square 1-inch by 1-inch square tubing for the support along the bottom. So that's the ongoing plan for that. So what we'll do is we'll call this part 1 of the update for now, and as soon as I get going on the next bit with all the further modifications, we'll film the part 2 and see how we get on with that. So just to wrap this one up then, I want to go through some of the things I'm planning to do for part 2. So here we have what I constructed for this part. Now it's all not a total loss, because all of this top structure from the windage mount, including the bit with the spirit level, that can all come off and I can reuse that, and then all I'll do is basically just put that back on and I can carry on using this this front rest as just a general front rest. What I'll probably do is I'll take these nuts and bolts off and use these for the self-leveling system. Now what I was talking about is as regards the scissor jack. It's just arrived in the post today. So that's this thing. As you can see, it's solid steel. It's actually heavier than I expected. This is like 1.2 kilograms, so not as heavy as the as this rest, but it's got some weight to it. And also I was pleased to see that there's no play in it. So you can get your elevation by turning this knob, and that's pretty solid. There's no play in that at all. So this is going to be a lot better than that mount. So this is all solid steel. It's already drilled at the bottom there. This don't need these rubber feet on here, so what I'm going to do is reuse them. I'll take those off and I'll reuse them on my backstop box, because that's just got some sort of little self-adhesive foam rubber at the moment. And what I'll do is I will 3D print a base to screw on using these screws that will be threaded to take these adjustment screws. So I'll make like a tricycle arrangement so that we can make the adjustments we need to make to get this level, and then drill some holes in the top plate to take the top assembly on that, and that should work quite well. So that's a job for part 2. Also, I mentioned the foam that I was going to use to replace this this sandbag, so that I can be sure that I've got a level base for the rifle. I've got this foam here, which is I've got quite a lot of this. I bought a whole box of bits of offcuts, and this is what they use to go inside flight cases for instruments and stuff like that. So it's fairly dense, still pretty pliable, and I can basically stick layers of that together to get a U shape that will fill in the inside of the top part. So that's what we're left to do then. And also, again, I've got to go out and buy the steel to do the legs. And so when I start doing all this work, I will keep a record of it to show you what I'm doing and what I'm getting on, you know, how I'm getting on with it. And then at the end of part 2, hopefully I'll have a stable table and a front rest that works. So we shall see. Anyway, I know something a little bit different, not a lot to do with shooting shooting rifles, but you know, if you want to give bench rests a go and you can't afford to pay, you know, the lavish prices for these front rests, then you know, this is just a way of getting an adjustable front rest that's a little bit more bargain basement level, if you like. So anyway, hopefully then get that one done, part 2 finished in the new year and up on the channel for you. So until then, bye for now.